Welcome back everybody to Pooley Mag TV, the raw, unedited, unscripted NUFC fan channel where everybody's got an opinion and nobody's opinion's wrong. Well, today I want your opinion on, well, I don't know, I'm just going to freestyle and wing this one. It's going to be a little bit of a football potpourri. So, I want to start with the news that Newcastle United might be getting a new badge. What does everybody think of that? You know, comment down below if we need a new badge. Is it going to be a game changer? Is it going to get us more shirt sales? Is it going to get us more popular in Asian countries or America and places like that so we can bring in more revenue? You know, I want your comments down below. Like I said before, I usually get about 1.5 minutes watch time. So if you like what you see, just share it and subscribe. You know, it costs nothing and it helps grow the channel. And it might be another platform for you to vent on, have a little bit of a crack on, you know, and talk to somebody who half knows what he's on about. And the other time, I just wing it, like everybody else does. Well, like I say, brand new badge for Newcastle United. Is this a good thing? I'm not too sure. I think our badge is quite iconic. I know we've had a certain amount of badges throughout our time, but I think our badge is quite iconic at the minute. It's been the badge since I've been born, or since I've been a fan at least. That's 30 years now. You know, it's been the crescent for change, obviously, since the Saudis come in. So whether they want to put their rubber stamp, their own image onto it, I'm not too sure. I don't know if I like this or not. I know Arsenal changed their badge before, and Chelsea have changed their badge since Leeds have and all. And I don't know. I'm quite a retro guy. You know, I quite like all the nostalgia and things like that, and I just like tradition. So I'm not overly keen on a new badge, but at the end of the day, it's not going to change my fandom for Newcastle, is it? It's not going to make me dislike Newcastle. It's just something you've got to get used to, and if it brings in more money to help us get more players, then why the hell not? So if you think we deserve, if you think we would need a new badge, if you think it's going to help us create a bigger fan, you know, bigger fan system over in Europe, over in America, over in Asia, yeah, just comment down below. Like I say, I'm 50-50 on it. It's not going to change much either way for me as a fan. If we have a new badge, it's not going to excite me and it's not going to make me hate the club. It's just, it is what it is. Obviously, it's headline news because it's Newcastle and we're changing our badge for over 30 years. So it is quite significant, I suppose. But for me, it's not something that I'm going to lose sleep over. But I'd like to actually see the new badge, you know, and actually see what it's going to look like, whether it's going to fit the new kit properly, if it's going to look nice. Because obviously, if you're going to buy a shirt, you want the shirt to look nice, and you want the badge to suit the actual colours of the shirt, and you want the badge to suit the Newcastle in general, don't you? You don't want a badge that doesn't, pardon me, you don't want a badge that doesn't represent Newcastle. So I suppose it is a little bit important. But like I say, I'm not going to lose any sleep over getting a new badge. So that's the first one out the way. If you think we need a new badge, hit like, comment, and, you know, and share, and see what everybody else thinks. The next one is, I'm just going to have a little rant about how, I had a rant a few weeks ago, but I'm just going to have another little rant about how garbage the Europa League is. You know, you look at Barcelona and Inter Milan. Wow, what a football tie that was. Over 2 legs. You just seen 2 top quality teams go at it. Tooth and nail, just giving their everything to get in the Champions League final. You had PSG and Arsenal. PSG, very consummate professionals. They're a proper team now. They haven't got Mbappe, Neymar and Messi and all the superstars. You know, they are a proper team, and that's just going to be a cracking final, isn't it? Between PSG and Inter Milan, it could either be a defensive shutout or it could be 4-4 and go to penalties. You just don't know with these 2 teams. They can both turn it on and turn it off at the same time, you know, but 2 quality teams and 2 deserving teams in the Champions League final. Now, let's move on to the Europa League. Now, yes, they both got the final, so yes, they deserve to be in the final. But what, 15th and 16th in the Premier League are going to get to the Champions League? It's a farce, isn't it? It's an absolute farce. You know, the Europa League should get you back into the Europa League the season after. It shouldn't get you into the Champions League. In what merit does it deserve to get into the Champions League because you won the Europa League? You know, you win the Champions League and you get back into the Champions League. So you win the Conference League, you get back into the Conference League or whatever. You shouldn't go higher. You shouldn't win the Conference League and then finish 12th in your league and then get into the Europa League. It just waters down the competition. It waters down the competition. How can somebody who's finished 15th or 16th and lost about 40 league games between them, and one of them is going to represent England in the Champions League? You know, it's a farce. It's an absolute farce. And the Europa League's a farce. And I'm not going to rant on for another 10 to 15 minutes like I did the other week, but I just wanted to get it off my chest because the Europa League has went right downhill, and Manchester United and Tottenham are going to look there with one of them. I'm going to look their way into the Champions League. Probably be Manchester United because that's just what they do. And it'll get them a few new players, but I don't see them doing anything in that competition. But like I said, they shouldn't be in that competition to begin with. So anyway, that's a rant over. I don't need it to comment unless you want to about that one. That's just a little rant of mine. So anyway, moving on to a little bit of transfer news. Harvey Barnes is wanted by Villa. Now, pardon me, Harvey Barnes is a weird one because he's been playing really well, hasn't he? He's been playing really well. But every time Anthony Gordon comes on, Gordon doesn't switch to the right, does he? Harvey Barnes has to. So it still seems like when Anthony Gordon's fully fit, it's only going to take Harvey Barnes to have one bad game and he's going to be on the bench again. And I think he can sense that. You know, he's playing well on the right, but that's not his natural position. Now, Anthony Gordon got red carded before the Carabao Cup final. He put his place in jeopardy. Harvey Barnes then stepped up to the mark on the left. So why is Harvey Barnes now having to get pushed out to the right every time Anthony Gordon comes on? I don't understand it. I like Anthony Gordon. I think he's a really good player, but I just do not understand why Harvey Barnes has to go over to the right. And why does Jacob Murphy have to come off? Because Jacob Murphy's done nothing wrong either. Anthony Gordon seems to be the golden child of Newcastle United, and I understand why. He's a great player, but Harvey Barnes has scored more goals than him this season. So why shift him? Anthony Gordon should be the one going on the right. He should be the one having to try and make a claim for his place again, not Harvey Barnes. So I can see, I can see Harvey Barnes going in the summer. I really do. I think he's proved himself in Newcastle, and I don't really see him, you know, getting the chances at left wing, next season. I really don't. I think once Gordon's had a full pre-season and one half year, Gordon will be the number one again, and Harvey Barnes will be relegated to the bench. And I don't agree with that. I might be wrong, but it's just the feeling that I get, because if I was going to bring Anthony Gordon on, who got red carded and could have cost us the Carabao Cup final, and Harvey Barnes has stepped up to the mark, then I wouldn't be shifting Harvey Barnes to the right when Anthony Gordon come on. I'd be making Anthony Gordon work. Now, Anthony Gordon will play on the right and all, so I'd be making him work for his place, not Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes has a good first half, good 60 minutes on the left, and then gets oiled over to the right. He must be thinking, what do I have to do to keep my place here? And I know he's starting, so he's keeping his place, but when he's coming on, he's having to swap his place. And I don't understand that. It's not like Anthony Gordon can't play on the right. So that's just another, what do you think about that? What does everybody think about that? Does everybody agree with what I'm saying, or do you think I'm just being a little bit cynical and a little bit overcritical? You know, I love Eddie Howe, but sometimes these decisions, they do irk me a little bit, and I don't understand them. So, yeah, and the last thing I want to talk about is the Chelsea preview. So, a little bit of a preview anyway. We've got a really good record against Chelsea, you know, at home the last few seasons. And I think we've got a really good chance of beating them. I really do. I know they're in the final of the Conference League, you know, and they beat Jay Gardens or whatever the hell they're called, you know. I do apologise. But I think we have a really good opportunity to beat Chelsea. I really do. I think we have a fantastic opportunity to beat Chelsea and sort of cement Champions League football. Because now, if Manchester United or Tottenham, does that mean 6 teams are getting in, or does that mean the team that finished 5th are going to lose out now? I'm not too sure. I haven't had that clarified, but I would assume that's probably what's going to happen, because I can't imagine them having 6 English teams. So usually it'll probably be the team that finishes 5th, you know, that gets the cut and has to go to the Europa League. So we don't want to be finishing 5th and leaving anything to chance. So we need to go at Chelsea. We've been a little bit slow and a little bit sluggish, and it seems like the rigours and the, you know, just the pace and everything in the Premier League's catching up on us. And we don't have a massive squad. We haven't had injuries like last season, but we have had injuries, and we don't have a massive squad. And we don't rotate much, so I think it's catching up on us. But we need to beat Chelsea on Sunday. We wouldn't have played since the Sunday before, so we've had a full week off. They played in midweek. Yes, they make changes in the Conference League, but they've still had a full. They've still only had their other team will have had to have travelled, so they've had 3 or 4 days less than us. So we need to now knuckle down and get in at them. Chelsea aren't a great team. They're a good team. Don't get me wrong. They're dangerous. They've got Nicholas Jackson. They've got some good players, but they're not the be all and end all. And if we can get in at them and rough them up and tough them up and show them that we're here for a fight, and Isaac turns up instead of nursing whatever little injury he's got, you know, and he actually turns up and we press them and press them and press them, we stand a really good chance of beating Chelsea. A really good chance of beating Chelsea. But it's no easy game by any means. And I would take a scruffy 1-0 89th minute tap-in from Dan Burn or Fabian Schär or anything. Just a scruffy goal, just a win. It's not about performances now. It's about winning. If we have a performance, fantastic. But as long as we win, that's all that matters. We can't afford to lose in any of our next 3 games. We need to beat Chelsea, we need to beat Everton, and hope we get something at Arsenal. And that should be enough for Newcastle to get Champions League. Where do you think we'll finish? I think we'll finish 4th. I really do. I thought we'd finish 3rd, but I don't now. I think Manchester City will finish 3rd. I think we'll finish 4th, and I think we'll finish 4th quite comfortably in the end. What does everybody else think? So hit like, hit subscribe, comment down below. There's a few things to comment on there. Like I said, it's a bit of a football potpourri today. You know, I've probably put about 3 or 4 videos into one, because I've got a long, busy weekend and I won't be doing many videos over the weekend. So I just thought I'd give you a bit of a longer one today. Do you like the longer videos? Does anybody even watch till 12 and a half minutes? Probably not, but some of you might, and if you do, comment down below if you want longer videos or if you want a shorter video. But anyway, have a nice weekend, folks, and as I always say, keep it black and white and keep it Paulie Mag TV over and out.